Hey, ended up having to make a third video because lack of time again, so sorry about that. But to go back to what I was talking about, the prophecy, of course, was, like I said, fulfilled through Alexander, and it was 200 and something, 230 something years later that it was fulfilled. Now, it's amazing how a man like Ezekiel can have a prophecy of something that doesn't happen until 200 something years later. Which goes into proving that the Bible is really what it says it is. That it goes to proving that God is all powerful, that He is omnipotent, that He is an awesome God. And by the way, I do remember now what that man's name was. If you'd like to look him up, his name was Benjamin of Tudela, and it was in 1170 A.D. that he takes his diary and goes out to the city and makes notes of how when you go to the new city of Tyre and you look down upon the waters, you can actually see the ancient city of Tyre, which is still there today. So you could actually go to where the new city of Tyre is and look down in the water and see that ancient city, which that actually answers one of the questions that most people have when it comes to the city of Tyre. Well, when you go and ask somebody, like I've had people that were atheists that would ask this question. I've had many different people who ask this question. It's like, well, you can look on a map and you can point out that there's a city that's called Tyre, but then in the Bible it says that it would never be rebuilt. So the Bible must not be true. It must not be what it says it is. The problem with that in lies, though, is that it's talking about rebuilding the ancient city of Tyre. It's not talking about building a new city where you can place whatever the city is at and then name it whatever you want to. I mean, anybody can do that. I mean, if I wanted to, if I had the money and the resources and stuff, I could go out here to my backyard, build a city, and make it look exactly the way that I thought the city of Tyre would look like back in those times, and then put a label on it and say, this is the city of Tyre. I could do that if I wanted to. That doesn't mean, though, that the ancient city of Tyre that was destroyed in the prophecy is the same city that was mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 26. It's not the same. That's why that in Benjamin's diary he specifically quotes that he can see the ancient city of Tyre, not the new city of Tyre or just Tyre. In fact, he actually goes into saying upon entering the new city of Tyre that he was able to see the ancient city of Tyre in the midst of the waters. That city, the ancient city, is the one that wasn't rebuilt. In fact, the city itself was so utterly destroyed that there is not a speck of proof that you can go about doing to where you can actually find the exact location of the ancient city of Tyre. You can actually go in and say that the new city of Tyre is in a completely different location that just happens to be close enough to where you can actually see the ancient city of Tyre. It's not exactly in the same spot, the exact coordinates that the ancient city of Tyre was in. That just goes to show you just how amazing God is. Just go and show you just how powerful He is. That He is just an awesome God. Um, in fact, the quote from the journal, I actually have it here now that I've mentioned that. I'm going to read to you exactly what that quote says. From Sidon, it is half a day's journey to Sarpeda, or Sarfind, which belongs to Sidon. Thence it is half a day to New Tyre, or at his time they called it Sur, spelled S-U-R, which is a very fine city with a harbor in its midst. There is no harbor like it in the world. And Tyre is an absolutely beautiful city. In the vicinity is found sugar of a high class for men that plant it here, and people come from all lands just to buy this stuff, which goes to show you that they are still, even to this day, uh, really good at manufacturing in their trade routes. Uh, but then he goes in to say, a man can ascend the walls of New Tyre, and see ancient Tyre, which the sea has now covered, lying at a stone's throw from the new city. And should one care to go forth by boat, one can see the castle's marketplaces, streets, and palaces in the bed of the sea. This was written, like I said, in 1170 AD, and from the man named known as Benjamin of Tudela. Um, but that's just answers one of the questions that many people have asked: is how can the Bible be true if there's a city of Tyre that's just conveniently located right close to where the ancient city of Tyre is? Well, the fact of the matter remains that it's not the ancient city, it's a new city. So that goes into answering that question. Now another one was had to do with Nebuchadnezzar, which the answer to that question lies within the story of Alexander. It about how Nebuchadnezzar didn't destroy the city and why the passage specifically mentions Nebuchadnezzar going in and laying siege on the city. Well, if you read the context, certain words in the context show that he would perform one thing, but then there would be others who would perform the other. Now, it doesn't mention Alexander the Great for that reason, so you just have to read the passage carefully and study upon it and see that there are certain words in there that show that Nebuchadnezzar would do one thing, whereas somebody else would do another. Um, but if you would like a further study of this topic on the history part or any other topics that I may mention, hopefully in these videos, you can go to places. One of my favorites is www.apologeticpress.com. I absolutely love that website. It gives you in-depth details of certain things that happen in our daily lives and talks about different topics like I'm talking about today, and just gives you a better understanding of certain passages that you may have questions on and certain topics that you'd like to discuss. But that's just one of the many websites you can go to. And again, like I said before in the first video, if you're on Facebook and you've got me on my page or plan to watch these videos on Facebook, please share this with your friends and family. Have them watch these videos. If you're on YouTube and you're watching this, please subscribe to my channel above and leave any comments, questions you may have, whatever you would like to talk about. If there's a certain topic from the scriptures that you yourself have questioned and you would like somebody to answer for you, please don't be afraid to ask me. I will gladly do the study for you. I will make a video for you, just for you, and hopefully answer your questions using the Bible and doing so in a brotherly, loving, kindly manner. And hopefully it will answer your questions the way that God would want them to be answered. And again, I state again that I hope that by watching these videos you are able to stand up for Christ.